Hey there, Web225. Now that I've given you a week to play, and I do mean that honestly, like the best way to learn things sometimes is just to play with them. So now that you've had a week to play in what I hope was not misery with Lightroom, I just wanted to go through a couple of really quick walkthroughs here to show you what I would do when I would bring images in here to Lightroom to do some editing. Now, I would like a couple of things here just in the beginning. Number one, what is the difference between Lightroom and Lightroom Classic? Lightroom is simply the Creative Cloud version that lives in the cloud. So you would go to the Adobe CC Suite online to get that. Lightroom Classic. The Classic portion just means that it's actually running on your machine. When it comes to running on your machine, does it really matter? Do you need like a high horsepower versus a low horsepower machine? Obviously, I think the more horsepower you have, the better. Off camera here, this is running on my 2021 Mac Studio. So it is older now. It is beefy still enough to handle any and all edits that I would throw to it at Lightroom here, but it's not necessarily, like a hugely expensive rig. You know, do I think that it's really crucially important to have an up to the moment machine where the the editing is really going to be made slightly better in your experience for one or two or three images? No, absolutely not. Do I think that as some of you transition into being professional photographers, etc., yeah, okay, the better the machine you have, the better. I would actually argue that rather than getting, at least here in the beginning, a super highly powerful, machine. So desktop, laptop, it doesn't really matter. Rather than getting a super highly powerful machine to do your edits, if you are going to continue in with photography, a better investment would be get a monitor that can be calibrated well. I know many of you are going to hate this. I like Macs because they are calibrated. When I go on campus and I go to the Media Lab, there's Macs. When I go to our Mac lab for web, clearly there are Macs. When I come back here and I stare at this machine, it's a Mac. And the benefit to that, just from my perspective, the benefit to that is they're all calibrated very, 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 very similarly, so that when I see a color on this machine, when I edit and I see, the purple here behind me or the orange over here, I know where to tune for that. Because the images are going to be the same. When I look at these images later on an iPhone, it looks to my eye to be very, very similar. However, when I do this exact same exercise on my Dell, for example, I have a Dell XPS 13. It's just a little laptop with an okay amount of horsepower. Those images do look different. And when I go to campus, and sometimes I'm in, doesn't matter, but 2114, it's our upstairs lab. And when I look on those really kind of crappy monitors upstairs, the 1080p monitor, that's the cheapest one the law will allow, the colors look entirely different. So it's something to be aware of as you're thinking and growing into more and more and more advanced photography. Something to think about would be a nicer monitor before thinking about a nicer, like, desktop, a nicer PC, a nicer Mac to go along with that. Just a consideration.